Now I want to see what's up with this Ethereum Restart game.
The year is 2138. We actually have flying cars and somehow haven't all blown up due to dick measuring contests around the globe. Elon Musk's catgirl experiment ended years ago, and now we live a life.
I know that anime. That's the fucked up part. That's Monogatari.
Strange, but life is good. You open up your invisible phone.
I'm peeping the Scarlet Nexus
looking
music
for a fun game. You
Suo
download the
City?
first thing on the list, and why does this game look like it was made in 2012? Mobile games have
does it?
improved every single
Do you look that
year.
terrible?
At least some
I guess
of them
I see it.
have.
Yeah, Tower
It really
Fantasy was
feel like
booty.
they're getting higher quality all the time, and that quality of life improves with every new iteration. The level of story writing, storytelling, game mechanics, and overall design just keep...
Hot take, gacha games. I hate almost every gacha game story, bro. Bruh, I hate stories that just arbitrarily just keep going because money, obviously. If you keep making money, you don't have to keep making story. So it's like at some point, the story's just gonna devolve and get worse overall to me. Fate did to me. No, I agree with you, Viper. As much as I love Elden Ring isn't the best looking game graphically. Compared to a lot of it looks really good, but compared to a lot of games, it doesn't look that good. Elden Ring is great. I'm more about gameplay than graphics overall. I always stand on that.
keeps getting better, but that only...
Call of Duty graphically looks great. I don't play it though. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Applies to some games apparently, because somehow Ethereum Restart took
I don't know what
everything
Ethereum Restart
that we
is.
felt good about in new mobile gaming and set us back 10 years. If you don't know what it is, Ethereum Restart is a PvP-enabled anime gacha.
Oh, hell no. Game is dead. Oh, fuck nah. I will lose all hope right there. I hate... Gacha games with PvP is a auto no-go unless the PvP is something that's not based on that. Like, when Genshin had Prop Hunt. Like, oh, shit like that, I'm cool with. But if you're gonna do full-on PvP in a gacha game, I'm like, nope, you lost me already.
Game that released in early June 2025, and its goal was to be a unique addition to the anime gaming space, while also being the first major modern 3D PvP gacha game. For a lot of people, gacha with PvP is a red flag, but
yes, it is a red flag. I'm saying I'm not tripping. That shit is a terrible idea.
It's a green light straight into a casino. Funny enough, if PvP felt like the focus of Ethereum,
it's literally Whale Wars pay-to-win bullshit.
I probably wouldn't have disliked it so much after investing 30 hours. PvP in gacha is ultimately about who spends the most money, and I love my tax write-off. But the more I write the script and reflect on my time playing, the more I realize how...
Even if I made money back from doing it, I would hate having to do it. Like, if I was a streamer for one of these games and I got big on it, yes, I could spend money and make the money back, obviously, but I would hate it. Because I don't want to support... I don't want to support games like that. I don't want to support games doing that bullshit.
Up this game is. From poor game design to using AI art to save a buck, Ethereum
baddies aren't everything,
problems
bro.
that nobody's talking
God,
about
AI
because
art.
they're all sponsored.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
When I played, I decided to stay completely free to play because when I played the beta, I wasn't impressed with the gameplay loop, and even though you get your money back and more from the rebate, knowing my luck, I have better
oh my god, this looks like a worse Honkai, really?
chances on a reroll than by spending $200.
The HUD looks lamer and way more simplified. This literally is just Honkai. What? Even the numbers and shit look... Bruh, everything looks exactly like how Honkai looks.
So when the game released, I rerolled for 8 hours.
Hi, 今出ます.
See, Ethereum gave out quite a few polls, but it has this huge problem that's present in some other gacha games, where the best characters from the standard character pool are rarer than the worst character.
That's a thing? There's gachas that do that? What? That's that's disgusting. That's a thing? So, they purposely make characters worse and give you a lower rate to get them in the standard banner? Bro, that's dog shit.
It's the sort of scummy thing that some gacha developers do to make sure that you'll be willing to spend more money to compete in PvP or on some kind of leaderboard. And the reason it works is because most people don't know that the rarer ones are much better until it's too late for you to actually re-roll. Remember, it's not the majority of players who are watching YouTube and reading guides on games. Most people are going into Etheria without an idea of what characters they actually want to.
Bro, advertising your game, I just realized, advertising your game as a modern PvP gacha, that's a death sentence on its own. Why would you advertise it as that? PvP should be like put to the side. Making that a main feature is crazy.
To pull for. But to make matters worse, the rarer standard units, called LD units, have their own separate banner that guarantees them at 3 times.
Wait. What? Hell no, he didn't say that.
To make matters worse, the rarer standard units, called LD units, have their own separate banner that guarantees them at 3 times the price per pull. This is
what? What the? Bruh. No fucking way. Y'all put the... So they purposely manufactured who's gonna be the best and worst out of these standard characters, then gave them their own banner, and made it cost them more to pull for them? Would they have rate ups on those banners? This game has to have pity though, right?
Worse, the rarer standard...
It's hard above are guaranteed to be constant or disorder in the misses. Is that the rarity names? Bro, what?
Units, called LD units, have their own separate banner that guarantees them at 3 times the price per pull.
3 times the fucking price, bro. What the fuck? So, let's just make it simple. If a summon costed $1, which we know they don't, because I can't think of any gacha game where a summon costs $1. That means you gotta spend $3 per summon. What the fuck are they doing?
Another method that XD, Etheria's developers, used to trick you into thinking that the game is free-to-play friendly because the LD units can be earned with...
Let me give y'all a simple how to enjoy gacha games, bruh. You either have to force yourself, like, to enjoy it for a long time, because I burned myself out real quick. You gotta somewhat get invested into the story, or my preferred way, to have friend groups that play these games. I got friends that play Wuthering Waves. They play, well, they used to play Gacha, they don't anymore. I have friends that play Wuthering Waves, and I got one friend that plays Zenless, but mostly I play that for myself, and I'm starting to slowly fall off of it. I feel it. But I'm like, I got a little bit into the story, but no, man. Like, I think, like, I already told y'all what I said about Gacha's games and their story mode, so I'm not even gonna go back into that. But find a friend group, especially if you can find them that, if you're free to play and you find a group that's free to play, that's the best for me. Because I like seeing how we compare, like, how do we get through in-game stuff differently because of our different characters. But if you have every character, like, I like that, it kind of felt like Pokemon where we have over 100 things, then we can both mix and match and figure out what our team's gonna do. But nope, if you all have every character, then it's not as cool to me no more. But I'm like, give me a little form of exclusivity, something. What are they talking about? Bricking accounts? Uh-oh.
Without the 3 times price banner. But realistically, your odds of getting them are once per 4 SSRs, which have a 1%...
Wait, can be obtained from the standard banner 25% of the time that you roll with SSR, but it's never guaranteed to be an LD. But you can spend 3 times the money or currency to guarantee an LD unit, incentivizing you to swipe a more
drop chance, assuming you don't go to pity. If we assume you get super lucky and get one every 40 pulls, you'd need to do 160 pulls per LD unit.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yep, but that's a 25% chance. And that's on average, right? Isn't that on average? Yeah, that is an average. That doesn't even guarantee. That's like a best case scenario.
Which, considering how many units...
And then the one you want is a low chance, but they already... So 160 pulls on average, and it's not guaranteed to be the one you want. That's terrible. And that's if you get the 40 every time. What is the pity in this game?
Your odds of hitting the ones that you want are significantly lower. It does have a 100% rate up on the limited character.
Alright, so they do have a 100% rate up, obviously. with 100 summons. Is that only for this banner? If the average summons, the average is 100? If it's on every banner 100, that's fucking crazy. Wuwa was smart. Wuwa said, Genshin is the biggest game in the market. That's our biggest competition. They do 90, we're going to do 80, and we're also going to fix weapon banners. Weapon banners, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about a 50-50. You automatically get the weapon. Wuwa did it right. They started saying, let's take 10 of those summons away. A lot more manageable. Bro, this is ass so far. Hey, she's hot though.
Banners, but those aren't always the units you need. And you might be thinking, oh, well, Brax, this is a gacha game. Obviously, you want to go for specific characters on your reroll, and you are 100% right. Not all SSRs and not all LD units are created equal, because if you don't have Lily, the game is basically fucking unplayable. Can you—
Ooh! This is Lily? If you don't have her, she's unplayable. Man, this is just that kid. This is Lenny. You can't name her Lily and then have her look like, bro, this is like Lenny from Genshin.
Play it? Sure. Do you enjoy having your balls hooked up to a car battery? Probably. Welcome to Etheria Reroll. You're going to be here trying to get Lily for the next 4 days, because the difference between accounts that had cleared high content by day 3 and the accounts that hadn't was that all of the ones who had cleared had Lily. Lily has a speed increase,
So, and this is statistics, I'm guessing he's going off of, but he said all the accounts that did versus didn't. So, pay to win. Basically, they're an LD character. So, that's an LD character at that point. And you have to spend, because if you went off of everything he said at the beginning, there's a 25% chance to get them. But it's even lower. There's a 25% chance to get a 5-star, basically the equivalent of 5-star in this game. But to get the specific 5-star looking for, like Lily, they're a lower rate than the other ones. So you got even lower chance overall. But on average, it's gonna take you 25%. Oh, hell no.
crit damage increase in action advance, and a cooldown reset. This is like if Bronya gave you an action forward in HSR 1.0, instantly cleared MOC 12, handed you the keys to a Porsche, and sucked your— and Lily—
Wait. Hey, but Bronya was, from what I remember, Bronya was cracked at the beginning. I barely played Honkai at the beginning, but I do remember my first 2 characters was Bronya and Seal, and I was flying through that shit, and then I stopped playing the game. But I was flying through that shit. Then I had to make a new account because I couldn't get my account for whatever reason. But we'll talk about that.
Only unit that this game requires you to have to be able to keep up, because they designed the PvE to actually be hard, which honestly isn't that big of a deal if you're willing to learn, except for the fact that some bosses basically require you to build—
If there's one thing I like about this, I do like the battle camera. I like how the battle camera is just kind of moving. I would wish, I don't know if they have it, I wish the camera would have like idle animations and stuff, a little extra, but the camera moving is cool. Like fully panning
specific characters, and in order to do that,
this
you
really
have to
like
log in 3 times a day for 14 business days to use your stamina and not overcap. And in fact, by then your characters probably still wouldn't even—
You gotta log in for 3 times a day? Wait,
be maxed, because it takes so goddamn long to level them to max, and then ascend them to give them another star, and level them to max again, and then ascend them again to give them another star.
They got a prestige in this game? You can oh no, you can prestige units? Oh, this! I'm not playing this shit. And it's a PvP game at the end of it.
This game's grind is a disaster. This game has so much grinding to it that the club would be jealous. First off, you have shells, which
the club would be— hey, I see you, Brax. That's a good one. So much grind, the club would be jealous.
RNG sets. Then you have modules, which are gear with RNG stats and RNG sets. Then you have prowess, which is your character's skill levels that takes not only specific missions, but also incredibly rare resources that you have very limited amounts of.
Yeah,
and
this
the
looks like a
level
pain.
in Ascension, which XP can be farmed for, but at—
Probably a hot take, but I think a lot of Wuwo have been like this for a lot of people. I think Wuwo you can fuck your account over, feels like, but grinding, until you get to the higher levels, it feels like you struggle to get materials. Not for your weapons and stuff, but just like XP materials. The only reason I think I was good is because I stuck with like my first 5-star in Shisha. Like, I got lucky that I like Shisha a lot. She's like my favorite character to use right now. So if I want to use like 3 5-stars, I feel like grinding and leveling up and all that shit would be a fucking nightmare.
Very
well, not grinding, but just level up. The grind itself.
Level, you have to ascend them to make them even stronger, and those resources are ridiculously limited as well. Problem is that it takes so many resources and so much time to level a character, their shell, their prowesses, and their modules that free-to-play players are better off going to college for 4 years and getting a job instead. And not only does it take a ridiculous amount of time and stamina to level characters, it also takes a ridiculous amount of time to level your account as well. Each 10 stamina you spend is 10 experience, so it's basically a level or 2 a day after you get somewhat into the game.
1 or 2 levels in a day?
And less than a level a day at higher level. If you use premium
less than a level a day?
You can refill stamina up to 10 times a day though, which will put you literally 3 to 4 days ahead every single day.
Oh my god, that is terrible! This is so shitty, bro. Gacha games, bro. Like, you want to make... I don't know where the bulk of their money comes from. I'm going to assume only times people track this shit is through banners. So obviously I would assume banners is where the bulk of their money comes from, is the characters. That's why they make them hot girls all the time. And you barely see guys. When you see guys, they're usually once a year, you know. Kanish, yeah, I remember you. But, bro, like, just make the game fun. Like, I stand on it. I wouldn't have minded a game like Granblue Fantasy Relink as a gacha, but the thing about Relink is just such a good game because it has enough killers and it's not a gacha. I don't know how a gacha would fuck that. Like, I think a gacha could pull that off, but it's easy for them to fuck it up. Give me some gameplay like that and put in a cool IP, like I said, Fate. That would be crazy. But nope, we gonna keep making the same game. We're gonna wait until MiHoYo make a game, and then we're gonna copy what MiHoYo did, but not change enough, and the things we do change are gonna be worse. WooWar got it right by making it better. Tower Fantasy at least let you create a character. I'll give them that. This shit just looked like its gimmick is PvP, Honkai Star Rail. That's a terrible idea.
Which massively helps you get through the story-locked content and get to PvP faster. We all thought this was going to be a PvP-focused game with PvE in it, and somehow the devs made it a PvE game where you can only get to the PvP if you survive 4 hours of shitty Honkai Impact 3rd style missions. At the beginning—
Ooh, that's rough. I don't think that dialogue was not looking interesting, dog.
In the game, you're required to do the story, which ultimately isn't that big of a deal, but I would be lying to you if I didn't say that was one of the most frustrating experiences.
This is a turn off for me. Everything I'm looking at is looking lame
I've ever had in a gacha game. It's not that the story is hard, it's that the story missions are a chore. It feels like you're in a tiny little box and you have to go from one side to the other.
This is no. This is just Honkai Star Rail. If you can deal with Honkai Star Rail, you should be able to deal with this gameplay wise. If the story is just bad, that's different. But Honkai didn't start off strong, bro. The Herda Space Station little arc, that shit was ass. Once you get to like Bellabog, like, what is it called? The Snow City? I think it's Harilo? I don't remember the name of it. Once you get to the underground area with the robots and shit, like the poor people were living at, with Natasha and all that, that's when shit turned up.
And you can't stray at all. And whenever there's an enemy, there's a 50% chance you
get got sucked in his shit.
If you're a story enjoyer, I'm sure it's fine. But the year is 2025. Why is the story being told like our phones are Nokia bricks? Also, in order to access PvP, you have to do the story up to a certain point. In fact, to access and move forward with any part of the game, you're required to do the story. The one saving grace is that there is a skip button for people who don't care. But because the story is level gated, there's a lot of times where you just can't play the game beyond doing daily auto farm missions unless you spend your premium currency on refills of stamina.
Oh god. So they have the battery system, right? I don't see it here. Oh no. Well, actually I don't see it. Do they not have the battery system? Like the storage, I guess, where if you don't use your shit for the day, whatever you don't use after you filled up, it doesn't go into. Maybe he talked about it earlier. But this shit is ass. And then you got 21. This looks like the thing that would refill the equivalent of 60, like the shit, what's it called in Honkai? Trailblazer fuel? This looks like that.
On the contrary to that, when you level up, you get more stamina that you have to spend immediately or you'll overcap. So sometimes you're forced not to play the game, and other times you're forced to play the game. And all of this is just on the quest quest to get to a high enough level to be able to farm the end game gear so that way you can play the...
I see the typo, Brax. I see the typo. All this 4-2 get. I see you, bro. I know you use that fake clip, but come on now, bro. You can't make no, when people die, they are killed level mistakes. Come on, Brax. All this 4-2 get access to in-game time.
How long does it take to get to end game farming and actually compete in PvP as a free-to-play player who's not wasting their premium currency? Drum roll, please.
Uh-oh.
30 to 60 days.
Huh?
You have to play through
My
this
Renault
auto
get
farm
fucked up by
slot
some
for
shit.
1 to 2 months just to be able to enjoy endgame PvP. And enjoy is being used loosely, because if you're free to play, you should honestly just give up. If you don't have
this
the
is
right
not
units,
it.
you're going to struggle with PvE farm.
I be hating these gacha games, man, because such hot characters just go to waste. It's usually not badass guys. This dude looks kind of cool, but other than him, oh no, bro. It be such hot girl designs just gone to the wayside, thrown away.
And PvP. This game's progression is so incredibly slow that it feels terrible to try and level up. It feels like your
That guy looks
characters
cool,
make
actually.
no progress daily. The pacing is so poor that for most people, the only way you're going to enjoy this game is by spending. I mean, this is literally the
That's
gameplay
terrible.
for almost 2 months. You would genuinely have a better time watching paint dry and eating the paint chips off the wall afterwards. And I'm just gonna leave the video mostly at that, just being, you know, kind of pay to win and not very fun in the PvE. But then the devs decided to suicide their game. Here's the thing. They decided to make a pretty good overall PvP system with different game modes, like an offline defense mode and a real-time.
So he said they're making a pretty good PvP mode. Then, where did the fuck up happen?
They even have private matches and a system made for
Private matches, cool.
tournaments.
Hey, that's cool. Private matches in a PvP game, I can fuck with that. Going against your friends, okay, it is what it is. When you got like a ranked and all that shit, fuck off. But PvP private matches, I can deal with.
Super impressive how much work they put into it and how well it functions. Duplicates of characters still do give bonus stats, and your units matter just as much as your gear, but that's not what you'd expect from a gacha game. And for sure, the best part of Etheria Restart is how good the PvP system is, despite its flaws. The weird part, though, is that they've been nerfing units that people spent weeks worth of research.
Wait, no! You can't! That's the cardinal sin of a gacha game, especially PvP one. You are never supposed. This is why power creep happens. Yeah, Viper, I fucking agree. It is fucked if you do. PvP in the gacha is automatically fucked. But you can't do that. That's like, there's a reason power creep happens. You want to make people buy these new characters, so you have to make them better than the old characters. But why would you nerf? You can't nerf shit like that. Some people are spending $100 or more bucks on those characters. If they're C60 or whatever it is in this game, that's probably $800 or more dollars, depending on how it costs in this game, bro. And you got banners with triple the price too. So you doing that, and then you're nerfing fucking characters. It's a whale game at that point, for sure. Yeah, why not just buff the weakest, as you should? That's what games should do. I heard Honkai Star Rail is doing that. I heard you're buffing like 4 of the older characters to make them better. Which, I agree. Either, you got 3 options. I think any of these older gacha, I think any gacha game should buff characters, especially older ones. You can make new characters that are good, but I think you should never nerf characters in these scenarios. In the especially the non-PvP game, but even in this game, don't nerf nobody. Just make new characters or just buff the older ones. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like when Marvel Rivals fucked up. They kept buffing characters, but then they started nerfing them, and I was like, yo. We're buffing the wrong people, we're nerfing the wrong people, but forget the nerf part. What happens to everybody's broken, then nobody is, bruh. Marvel Rivals said they that. And they didn't know if they want to be PvP or PvE. Now look at them, bruh. It's starting to bleed the players. It's still doing good, but it's bleeding players.
Resources on the trash! Because, get this, the boss that's meant to be farmed is being farmed too easily. No.
That's why they did it? So the boss, people found a way to farm the boss easy. Oh my god. So the boss, that makes sense, I guess. So the damage over time characters suck because this grindable boss, that's terrible. The fucking damage over time characters sucked against this boss, but obviously it's immune to it. So they had no value, so they had to make people buy the damage over time characters. Oh, it's so stupid. What the fuck? Why you say LOL after that? 2 hours? I didn't even know Payday missions was that long. I thought Payday missions were like 20 minutes. I've never played any Payday game. I thought they were like 20-minute missions. I can't lie. 2 hours is fucking nuts.
Within 2 weeks of this game,
I played MOBAs and I can't deal with that.
Game being released, they felt like people were farming the game too easily, so they nerfed a character that people spent all of that time investing in. Like, I just don't get the thought process there. The whole point of the Gacha game is for you to not play the game that much. Like, there's literally stamina in the game for that reason, to stop you from playing.
Yeah, I will always say on. I hate that. Get rid of this shit, bro. Get rid of like resin and all these energy systems, bro. It's a holdover from old-ass gacha games. I know it's another thing to be annoying to make people want to log in every day instead of grinding it all out in one day. But get that shit out of my face. Nobody wants to sit there and deal with that. And Genshin is the worst at it. Genshin wants your ass to be like, hey, I can't, nah, bro. I'm not playing Genshin on Tuesday. I'm just going to wait until Sunday because that's when the Abyss is open for everything. Like, what? Not the Abyss, the fucking artifacts. That's when you get any artifact you want is on Sunday. You have to work for certain days. Oh yeah, I picked all the flowers. I gotta wait 3 days for the flowers to come out. Kind of stupid shit. I hate limiters, bro. I hate those sort of limiters. They're just arbitrary and unnecessary to be there. There is missions you can grind. Cook off is one of them. Resin ain't that bad. Just make it 4 minutes for resin. I think resin is annoying because there's times I'm like, okay, I got time. Like, if you're busy one day, if you're busy most of the week, you got 1 day to really game. Like, for people that are super busy, not me, but some people, they're like really busy. They only can game on the weekends or something. I want to lock in and do as much as I can. But, nope, I ain't got that much resin. Fuck me. You better hope you got some shit saved up at that point. And then you have to do it on certain days. Let's see what else he has to say.
So I don't really understand why it would be a problem that people are clearing the content that they're supposed to be clearing using a strategy that's completely fair and within the rules of the game. Balancing characters to PvE is a huge mistake for a game with PvP in it. Naturally, players weren't too happy with the decision.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's so stupid. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You did nerf. Y'all did nerfs for PvE. But it's a PvP game. That's your marketing. That's stupid.
After all, what sense does it make to make PvE farming harder in a gacha game? And to add insult to injury, XD didn't even offer to refund players their invested resources.
Oh my god. No, so... Yo, this dude was crashing out. Well, stop being retarded idiots trying to justify a theory of dev's actions because you spent money and don't want to realize it was wasted on a predatory game at this point. That's how Genshin Gacha grinds. There are just money cesspools meant to extract as much possible from your wallet and give you as little as possible. Ethereum will die on global if they continue this, and whales will be chatting to themselves in world chat. Many characters look massively AI generated than being an original character. The two new characters look the same, just different colors and different gender. No depth communication, unprofessional action so far. If something doesn't change at the end of the month, I'm quitting permanently and really don't care. Played E7 since, E7 since 2019 and leaves devs it. There have my respect. Communicate to their playmate. I'll stand on that, yeah. I like games where the devs communicate with the players. If they need to, if it's a live service game. If it's single player, I don't give a fuck. Once I bought the game, it is what it is. But devs communicating with their community, especially in like Gacha, I'm like, kind of a big deal, you know? if we're gonna fix little things, not bandages that can fix stuff, Ginch made it was easier to farm artifacts and enemies for some domain are no longer hell to do. Did they make it? They made it easier? I have to look into that. I wonder. Cause I don't know what's going on with Genshin anymore. I stopped playing. What? Over a year ago? Besides the times I logged in once every few months randomly, like I logged in, did like 3 summons and got Malvika, whatever her name is. Then I logged in like a month or 2 ago and got that chef girl. Like, I didn't even play. I just sat in my same tree.
Began to criticize them for it. As mentioned 30 times in this video already, it takes a ridiculous amount of resources to level a character in that game. It's like they don't even play their own game. I don't know what they're thinking. At this point, if recent events are anything to go off of, then Etheria Restart is more cooked than the chicken I had for dinner because I'm terrified of food poisoning. Speaking of cooked though, it gets even worse for Etheria because genuinely, what the fuck is this? Yeah, so basically, to save a couple bucks and not hire real artists, XD used generative.
Wait, what? When I filled to the end, it bends weird. Yeah, it does. I can see it. The bend does look odd. Oh, the hair is supposed to. If it's like normal anime hair, usually it would pierce through here. I do know that when you draw shit, usually it pierces all the way through. Like their eye, it just looks odd in anime, but it makes sense. I get what's going on. That's weird though. Why would they? Wait, let's see.
AI to create their character splash arts. Now,
maybe look the same. Wait, you talking about using AI? Or about something else?
XD used generative AI to create their character splash arts. Now, sure, I can understand the argument that it's XD's game and they can
with new items and things on the wrong side. Yeah, she's missing the. Yeah, she looks a lot different. Missing the bandage. This shit color is off. This color is off. This isn't even the same tag. Where the chain? Oh, the chain's over there. She has the sword, right? I don't even see the sword. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this character. There's definitely a few changes.
Can do what they want with their own property, but what?
They changed enemies for some domains or just took some out. Oh, okay. This point is unconfirmed, but the arts also have an entirely different style, which is odd for modern gachas. Yeah, this is a different art style. Let's see what happens.
What I'm wondering is,
I don't mind AI overall. I don't care as long as it looks good. I really don't care if it's AI. But I guess there's always going to be that moral argument with AI of it's technically just fusing a bunch of people's shit together to make its own original thing. And people say that's not original. It's not talented, I would say. But I would assume if you fuse a bunch of things together, technically it's its own creation. Nobody's thought of fusing those things together before. And that's how we got a lot of things we got now. Is somebody sees something, but let's tweak it and turn it into something else technically. Well, I don't have an issue with it, personally. But I don't want to play a game that's fully AI. Well, that sounds terrible.
Somebody has millions of dollars to spend on marketing and made back millions more dollars in the first week of the game. How is it that they couldn't afford to throw $10,000 at an actual artist to make their splash arts and not have huge glaring errors in them? That kind of laziness gives me the impression that XD doesn't actually care about making the game good at all, and that they're—
You know what's funny? He makes a good point. You don't have to look for the craziest artists in the world. You can literally just find what you gonna do, what I want you to do. Anybody that's making a gacha game that's anime themed, what I want you to do is go on Twitter and look up Genshin Impact art and look at the artists you want to pick. Just look at all the art. Contact them and see if you can cut a deal with them. It's that simple, bro. It's like, hey, we're making a new character. We can shoot y'all 5K. A lot of people will take 5K to draw 1 to 2 drawings of a character, probably. Maybe 10K. That is cheap for how much money these companies be making. The Fate takes the same character looks, adds different hair, personality, claims new character. Oh yeah, I know Fate does that. Fate makes a meme out of it though. Like that's literally part of it. There's like a trait attached to characters literally called Saber Face. Because they literally they all use Saber's face. Yeah, Artoria, they do that on. I don't know why. I guess Saber's the most famous character, and they're like, hey, people think Saber's hot, so let's go with that. Yeah, I'm not the best at drawing, don't get me wrong. I'm not the best artist at all. But Genshin's art style is really big. Like, Genshin looks like stereotypical anime. When you think of the word anime, I think of like Genshin. Like when it comes to art style, at least.
Just
a lot of characters look exactly the same, just with different haircuts.
Don't get me wrong, it looks better than Epic 7 by far, but this game still feels like it's so far behind every other.
I think Epic 7 looks way better than this shit. I like Epic 7's art style a lot.
New gacha game with its story missions.
I don't play it, but I tried it. More like the creator likes Saber so much he draws her 24/7. The creator's he's a weirdo. I wouldn't be surprised. He's not as bad as the Rent-A-Girlfriend creator. I need to watch a video on him. From what I hear about that guy, he's a menace. I'm gonna watch a video about Rent-A-Girlfriend at some point. Or story design. Oh, this is gonna be the negatives, I guess.
And needlessly confusing UI and its extra gacha rarity mentality. The game is highly unit dependent, resources are incredibly scarce, the story gameplay isn't engaging, and it takes you forever to even start farming gear for PvP, in which case you're already behind everyone who swiped if you're free to play.
Yep.
And I haven't even—
That's stupid. You putting people behind to get to grinding for a PvP game is stupid. Why would they get a head start on grinding and they get better characters if they spend money? Why won't they shouldn't they just get better characters? Let's all get there at the same time. Nope.
Spoken about the monetary advantages yet. There are so many low spender packs to try and get you to spend, and if you do spend, the advantages you get over free-to-play players is absolutely disgusting. From just having more SSRs to actually leveling them and progressing them further faster. Etheria Restart is incredibly pay to win, as much as they don't want you to believe it. But ultimately,
you can't make us not believe it. It's a gacha game, PvP. The only way a gacha game cannot be pay to win is not making a gacha game funny. That's the funniest way. A PvP gacha game not being pay to win, the only way I can see that happening, honestly, is if you made the gacha game not, and you didn't have to take a gacha out of it. You would have to just earn characters just by playing and grinding for summons itself. And then you'd have to pay for everything else. But then it becomes pay to win again. Like, oh, you can pay for XP boosts and all that. It's like, well, those early days are going to be pay to win for those people until everybody else is free to play catch up. Force Direct? They have one? You're talking about... I forgot the name of the anime. I know what you're talking about. There's an anime for it, I think. Ah, fuck. I'm not typing that in on Google. I'm not typing that in on Google. Never mind. Let's get back to the video. I don't know how to type that.
At the end of the day,
Uma Musume. There it goes. Okay, Uma Musume. That's what it is.
Because of the pay to win, not
I
because
knew it was
the game
something
was
Musume.
too hard or
I know what you're
anything
talking
like that, but because it just wasn't fun. At least not for me. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who enjoy Etheria Restart, and it is 100% free
showing
to
the tits.
try
That's
it.
cool,
so
bro.
if you want to give it a go, go for it. But I can't in good faith recommend this game to anyone, because at the moment, the progression systems are poorly
I wasn't going to play anyway. PvP Gacha told me I'm not playing this.
Unless you're in PvP, and even when you're there, it's so pay to win favored that you probably would be better off just finding another game to play. I would rather play League. I have 12 hours played in 10 years of having an account. I fucking hate that game. There's one thing that this game does extremely well though, and that's unions. If you have a group of friends that you love to play with, unions provide a way for you guys to support each other better than your parents did. But I'm gonna be honest, that's about it. Let me know.
Can we partner up? That would be cool. A gacha game with actual co-op would be cool. None of this bullshit. None of this bullshit event race each other more. I want real stuff. Multiplayer, but I have no room. An app taking up 56 gigabytes. What the fuck you got? You got Genshin installed? You got Genshin, bro. Just say it. I mean, that's a good video.
Or if you want me to go myself, I'll see you guys later.
That was a good video. When it's going on YouTube, y'all go see the link. It's gonna be the first link in the description. Bruh, this damn game is terrible from what I just saw. Alright, hey, look, me personally, I know Brack said go ahead and support it. I'm not supporting that shit. I suggest y'all don't either unless you want to struggle.